Trump getting in and saving the crypto market space was much anticipated move. But you can see that the Trump coin is up like 80% for the day, whereas there are multiple assets, including strong fundamental assets, taking massive hit, 22% down for the day, when it's just 23% down for the week. So you kind of get to see across the spectrum surprise hits. Long-term bags, it shouldn't have been a surprise. If you were in the SF family at the local top for the daily divergence, we already called out to take some profits. I think most of you guys did follow that somewhere close to 3.27 towards 3.3 or at least 3.2. I was at 3.2. I'm always the slowest in that. But if you do look at the question which we are trying to answer here, you get to see two local tops. What does that mean? You follow Bitcoin and take the microstructure, not hourly or 4 hour. You can be on a 12 hour or even a daily. This is exactly what you see. We talked about these two trend line as a possibility from late December, and now we have that playing out. What does that mean for XRP and other major altcoins from here? What kind of a move can we anticipate in them? Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. You pick up XRP chart like this, there is a lot of confusion. I've seen a lot of different questions, but just think about this. Last time you had the three-wave structure, the three-leg structure, you had a massive drop, which did not have an ABC formation. Yeah, and then you had the 1, 2, 3. So that was crazy because SEC came in and they kind of chopped it off. But now the question is, if you go back, taking other assets, say highly correlated assets for XRP, we'll go end up with XLM. And as we look at XLM, we kind of get to understand, yeah, XLM didn't have that case, but XLM also dropped. And this is a weekly chart. So when you're measuring the weekly chart and the measured move to the downside, you kind of get to see a 50% drop in XLM, not XRP. XRP did drop 85.90, which was crazy, but still you got a 50% drop. Why? Yeah, you now highlight this region so that you don't miss this. Now we go into a daily. This, I think, is super important. Yeah, the perspective is always important. Now, when you're stepping in, you also need to look for the macro. Now, on a daily, the price action was already showing you a couple of things. One, from the breakout region here, which is this top or this top, to this formation, this leg structure, you had a negative divergence. Yeah, you formed a negative divergence. Then you dropped. So the first leg down there was kind of a little bit understandable. 45% down with the first negative divergence, which was on the daily chart. Fine, we get the picture. Now, if you can step back onto a 3-day chart and look at the same asset, this is something which you are watching. There was a lot of pump, a lot of craziness in there. But again, you can see something. The price action was going down while the RSI was going lower. And that again on a 3-day chart was valid. So the daily and 3-day aligned well enough and we dropped here. Yeah. Now this structure was a complete retest of the break. You had massive breaks here. This was the big support zone. So you re-entered into that zone after creating this kind of a pattern and breaking higher. Now, yes, Ether is somewhere in this leg. And I think once Ether find it local support, it may do this. Yeah, because the structure looks same. Now, what exactly are they doing in this cycle? I mean, that's our biggest question to ask. If you put them together, compare it with the last market cycle, you kind of have a structure like this. Yes, it is bullish. You broke through. It was crazy. You went up, but you never retested any of these regions. 1, 2. Now, on a 3-day chart, so here on a 3-day chart, you really don't have a negative divergence. Yeah. But why is the price dropping? Or why is it so volatile? You pick up a daily and you kind of get to see the answer. The formation here is kind of clear. Like the price action was still trying to be choppy and poppy, but look at this. So that was a mistake. Now look at that line structure. It kind of gives you an idea on XLM. Yeah, the price was here, and the RSI dropped. And that drop in the RSI seems to be bigger. Now compare it with XRP. On all of these occasions, you will find the fact that XRP was starting to form something. Yeah. So you had the first negative divergence, which was invalidated and you went up. Then you continued to form that. Now, from that local peak to this local peak, you have another structure forming, which is a little bit heavier than the previous one. Fine. Now put a 3-day chart there. Now 3-day, you don't have a candle close. On a line chart, it is visible for sure. But on a 3-day, you don't have a candle close. I agree. But this is one of the primary reasons why I was saying daily is confirmed, 3-day is working it out. Not confirmed yet, but still working it out. Now where is your support? So if you do look at this, the RSI shows your support in the RSI terms. You need to come back down to 50. Now, 50 is a neutral region. You can easily bounce back from there. Agreed. I'm not against it. But what I'm saying is the 1, the 2, the 3 is kind of over on a micro leg. So you need to see a ABC. Now, if the ABC looks like this, price trending to the upside with higher low, while the RSI come down like this, that's heavily bullish. I mean, the next leg up can be bigger than I anticipated. Not $6, $7. It may go up to $8 to $10. I agree. That's the fact. But now the question here is, right now when you're in the market, what do you understand? There is heavy selling pressure. You need to revisit $2.5. If you're so optimistic about this asset, that's your support. Now, if you're looking at a bit of conservative end, you're looking at $2. Fine. Now, if you're a wave guy looking at the wave structure, you need to see an ABC. And you need to see a bullish divergence because you got a negative divergence before you started dropping. You are now looking for a bullish divergence before you start moving up. Fine. Now pick this on a weekly and a monthly to understand on a macro direction which direction we are headed to. Yeah. So the macro is still showing you I'm headed to the upside. I don't have a confirmed negative divergence. And usually in these zones is where you get to see such craziness. Yeah. Even while you are building that kind of a negative divergence, we've seen these pops. So that can still happen on the weekly chart. I agree. There's no one arguing against it. You look at the monthly, it's still absolutely bullish. Because this monthly chart shows you it is now trying to push way higher. Now, you only have another 10 days for this monthly candle to close with all these volume. If you close anywhere in this territory, that's the highest monthly candle close. Now, say you just want to step back into a weekly. Fine. The volume is still there. The weekly volume is still there. It looks promising. It looks good. But even while we had all those increase in the buying volume and we were trending higher, we got some issues. Yeah. That drop, I'm not anticipating such a drop below the trend line. I'm not arguing that point. Rather, I'm looking at this and trying to be realistic. Yes, the formation like this is going to create parabolic run up. But while you play that out, what's this? Yeah, that drop in there is what panics a lot of people, and that's a 60% drop. Now, just to put things into perspective, you take this from the local high and plot 60%. Can you digest that? Ask that question to yourself honestly. If you're not taking profits, then at least skim some. If you don't do that, think about this. When the price is back down close to 1.3, now say you're conservative. You're not looking at that optimistic buying point at 1.5. You're looking at 1.7. Cool, I'll agree. But at 1.7, will you think like, I shouldn't have taken anything at 3.4, I should be buying more here? Or will you be thinking, whoa, it's good that I took 20, 30% out at 3.27, 3.3, 3.4 so that I can buy more here if the price comes there? Maybe I'm wrong, the price is not going to come there. But if it does drop 50%, now you hold more. But what's the point? To buy back at that region, the price needs to show me a bullish divergence on a daily. That's when I'm starting to jump back in. The price needs to show me a bullish divergence on a 3-day. That's when I'm going heavy. The RSI needs to reach the trend line support. This is where I would like to go back in heavy. Yes, I took my capital out. I took 150, 200%. I think 150% profit out. Now it's market's money and I'm relaxed. So it makes a little bit more clarity, removing the cloud on top of the head, saying, okay, now I can understand things very easily. Now, yeah, on a macro pattern, it's very easy. But the trouble is when you go zoom in, 4-hour chart, it's volatile like hell. I mean, look at altcoins. It's crazy right now. I was thinking Trump coin is going to be something good, but then it kind of pulled all the liquidity out of majority of the markets, the crypto assets, whether it's payments, you're watching payments, smart contracts, infrastructure, everything bleeding into that token, and then that dumps. So who is rugging us? You need to look for that because almost all the exchanges are trying to list it, and look through that volatility. It's heavy. Yeah, it's trending higher for sure, but it's kind of killing a lot of people. So if you're buying spot thinking this president is going to push crypto prices up and next 5 years will look optimistic, fine. But right now when you're in the crypto ecosystem, you're looking at all of this. This is highly volatile. The short-term trend lines, is it going to hold? And if it is going to hold, are we going to break the short-term resistance? Because if not, it is going to be a consolidative phase because you're still inside this channel. And that's Ether for you. Now, to put some perspective on that, compare Ether with XRP. Now, I'll put XRP to Ether here because I'm a XRP kind of a maxi. Yeah. Now, XRP to Ether shows me the fact that it is forming a bullish flag. It can break further to the upside. Now, how long is going to be the consolidation? God knows. I really don't know. But I know one thing. Last time when I've seen these kind of things play out, the price ended up popping. So if that's what's going to happen, I'm willing to hold through this, but not 100%. If it drops, I'll buy back at much lower price point. So pick up XRP chart. I'm looking at it on a daily or a 12-hour, observing so that if there is a bullish divergence, I can see that. Yeah, the 12-hour, which is kind of a short-term trend line, that shows me the RSI is kind of here. It's getting close to a support. But now step back on a daily. Do you think it's really close to that support? I don't think so. Step back on a 3-day. It's not anyway close to that. When the price reaches $2.5, I would say, yeah, it is. Because remember, the microstructure is very painful and the macro structure looks attractive. But those 30-50% drop, it can shape things out for people. Now, take the total altcoin market for sure before we complete this. We discussed about this before and now you can see what's happening. Yeah, this on a weekly, you still have the negative divergence there. The price is trying to push back to the upside. But while it is trying to do that, if you get a fake out, it's bad. The trend line we plotted, don't forget about that, because even if this pattern is about to go back higher, this is the current pattern. You can play this out. Now the microstructure looks 1 2 3. So if we can break I, yeah, and retest it and bounce, yeah, that's very great for the end of Jan, early Feb. You're going to see something big, and usually the blow off is pretty quick. 25-40 days, that's done. If that's happening, it's cool. XRP is going to follow. Current short-term moves may look painful, but it may not be that bad. You will see massive buys coming in. So go down to a 4-hour chart and let's see if we are getting massive buying volume. If there is a huge divergence between the volume to price candles, high selling volume, high selling action, bears are in control. That's a 4-hour chart. You go look at a 12-hour chart and this is what you see. Increasing selling volume, increasing momentum to the downside. So unless you break about 3.2, I'm now going back saying, okay, it was a bad thing. Yeah, I would say this is good because you took profit at the local top. It's a good thing for you. It retest here, gets rejected, come back down to that trend line. Yeah, if you would like to buy around 2.5, perfect. If it's showing you a bullish divergence, why not? So understand what the market is doing, and for this, be a part of the Scientific Investor family where I called out, shouted out, explained as much as possible in my non-native English language, saying, guys, I'm taking 10% of this asset, 10% of this asset, 5% of this asset, which is making like a 25% out. And I told you why I'm doing that based on my thought process. Maybe I'm wrong, I'm a fool, but that was my thought process, and I explained it to you guys at the local top. So if you received value, smash that like button for me if you didn't do that yet. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.